I'm telling you, that would be a freaking, yeah, a bomb to drop.
Craig, kick me off. Were you as nervous as Paige about spending 17 days together? And how did this test your relationship, if at all?
Well, I think the nerves was this was gonna tell us whether we were gonna have a future or not. Long distance for us is easy peasy, and we love it. We get the best of both worlds. But to take two people that date long distance and essentially live together for 3 weeks was definitely going to be a tell. So no, I was pumped. I was excited for it, and I think you'll get to see. I have to make some decisions throughout the show, throughout the vacation to see, if I want to be more than just the fun boyfriend, if I want to be considered as a partner for life. So I think you'll get to see a lot of that.
Yeah. Was the drinking for Paige, was that a problem for her during the course of because we see, obviously it's a fun time, it's a party house and things like that. But does that become a problem for Paige throughout the course of the season?
I think it just comes with growth. We had just gotten done filming Southern Charm. Summer House was airing. I mean, it was a very stressful time in pretty much everyone in the house's lives. And I think you'll see that I develop better ways to deal with my stress than drinking. But in the beginning of the vacation, I was definitely drinking because we were on a trip. So I like I said, you'll just have to wait and see to see if there's growth there. But fortunately, I feel like I'm in a lot better place than I was back then.
Good. Well, spoiler alert, you're still together.
Yeah,
so it's still good.
Yeah, but Austin, no, she just lets me be me. So
definitely. Well, that's a good thing. Austin, how are you feeling going into Winter House? Because like Craig said, you guys had just finished filming Southern Charm. Were you still with Olivia at this point? So how are you feel going in and spending, 2 weeks with Ciara at this point?
Yeah. I mean, so coming off of last summer, like I had a lot of things that I wanted to work on with, myself and my behavior and like the way that I wanted to act, moving forward. And so then when we filmed for Charm, I really, really got to get back to like, me and moving forward with my life and, like my new home and my business, doing this. And that's what I wanted, to focus on. And then, meeting like Olivia and she was just such like a positive, light and, and freaking influence in my life, quite literally the opposite of my last. And so it was just like a breath of fresh air. And so going back to Vermont, I felt very, very confident that I knew who I was and like how I wanted to act. And I really, really was excited to, of course, to hang out, with friends and to have fun, but really to talk to some people whose feelings I hurt the last time that I saw them. And it's not just Ciara, it's like a few people in the house. And so going there was, I was excited to like atone to a few people and to move forward with, all of our lives and, relationships and whatnot. And I think that's what my main goal was going to the house.
Definitely. Did it bring up any old feelings about Ciara?
I mean, it certainly was interesting to go back to the exact same house where so much had gone down, with her. I mean, she's like a beautiful girl, but, no, there was no like, oh man, like I'm having some feelings here. I think that we honestly we're really just trying to work on our friendship and trying to progress with that.
Definitely. Craig, it seems like you and Luke really clashed this season. We heard about the fireworks story and how it all goes down. And then it seems like he leaves. Can you kind of tease about what happened between the two of you, where you guys stand today, and was that fight about Paige?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bar fight and that stuff happens. Just ours are captured on camera. And, something I have a lot of conviction when it comes to girls and guys relationships, and, something happened that I didn't agree with. And what we've seen, especially with me over the last few shows I've been on, is my message gets lost in my delivery. And it's something that I'm working on. But, I think my message was correct, but my delivery was bad. But also, I'm not saying that girls don't do this, but for guys, like the fight was about the issue at hand. It had nothing to do with me and Luke, having personal feelings about each other. It's something happened at the house, and I didn't think it should have happened. And so no, after that issue was resolved, you'll get to see what happened. But, no, I don't like to live my life with, cutting whoever I fight out of my life. I mean, me and him wouldn't be sitting next to each other right now. So it was definitely about, what you see happens. And like I said, I wish I could change my delivery, but that's just something I'm working on, these days.
Definitely. Austin, I know, in the teaser, we see that there's some drama possibly between you and Lindsay, maybe around the time that she announced that she and Carl were together. Did you guys hook up? What kind of went down there?
Yeah, so that was, first and foremost, I didn't know that there was some sort of timeline issue. I didn't know that the timeline of it all was being questioned. That was never my intent when I brought it up to a few of the girls in the house prior to Lindsay getting there. This is when I told the girls, and then the girls kind of put their heads together and were like, wait a minute, that's, there's like a timeline issue here. And I never meant for that to happen, because I was like, oh no, now I'm meddling, with their brand new relationship that they seem to be really happy in. And I was not on the best terms with Lindsay too, going into that house. And so she was one of those people that I was anxious to talk to, figure out some things. And then you add that on top of it, and it's just like, oh no, what have you done? So you're going to see how that works out, but just know, that I was not trying to meddle with their relationship. That's what I feel, bad about.
Yeah.
Honest.
Did you reach out after she got engaged? Where do the two of you stand now?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, of course. She and I talk and we text. It's not as much as we used to, because she has a new person, and Carl is that person for her, but she, reaches out when, she sees things and as she hears things. And after the reunion, she was like, I'm sorry to hear that, you and Olivia didn't, work out, blah, blah, let's chat soon. So we do talk, but just not as much as we used to.
Yeah. Craig, what was it like having the Toms in the house? And, I know at the time Schwartz was kind of going through his breakup with Katie. So what kind of was his mindset, and what was it like filming with them?
It was awesome. When I found out, I still remember the time and place that I found out they could come on the vacation, but we were all standing on the ice rink, and I kind of yelled with joy, and I was like, Austin, guess what? Because I love the Toms, and I've gotten to spend a little more time with them than Austin. And it just so happened in this crazy world that we live that it was a perfect time for him to get away. And so, I love them equally. Austin you can't get enough of Sandoval's just personality and just larger than life, persona. And me and Schwartz just connect a lot. And so I actually wanted him to stay the rest of the trip, but he had to get back. So I think it was good for him. And you get to see the beginning of kind of that, unfortunate circumstance. But we were running on reserves when they got there, and they came in with fresh ideas that we've never, for parties, which we thought we had explored everything the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. And it was a breath of fresh air.
I just think it's super cool now that those three franchises are now intertwined, and the Toms and I know that a few more of them have gone to the Hamptons, to hang out with them and stuff. But for them to come to Winter House kind of solidified that relationship.
Our
and
Bravo
I'm stoked.
verse.
Yeah, I'm stoked, man.
I love it.
Three pretty great franchises to, intermingle, in my opinion.
I love the crossover. I love it so much. Craig, I spoke to Leva recently, and I wanted to get your reaction to this, because she said that you have changed since you started dating Paige. What is your reaction to that, and do you agree?
I think I have grown a lot since I've started dating Paige, and I definitely like myself better now. I think anyone that says mean stuff about other people on the internet's a bully, and I think it's embarrassing. And I think it's unfortunate. All you can do is focus on yourself, and the last thing you'll see me and Austin do is go out of bounds on our shows and talk shit about people. So I hope the best for everyone. My candle doesn't dim the light of anyone else. And yeah, dang right have I changed for the better. And you get to see that change really start on Winter House. Because like I said, I finally, I don't want to spoil it, but I, for the first time in my life, go from being do I always want to be just a fun boyfriend, or do I want to be something more than that? So
yeah, excited to see.
I mean, that's the truth too, by the way. I mean, Craig has changed just in like a lot of ways. Like I can tell that, he just like wants to be better for, her. And he's like, growing up, right? It's like, I mean, even something small, right? I was like, Craig, you don't wear like a backwards hat anymore. He was like, yeah. And I'm sure that Paige has everything to do with that. She's like, Craig, you're not like a frat boy anymore. Stop, doing that. And so Craig has like, progressed in, these ways. That's just like a small way, but
we're just trying to grow. Austin and I love Charleston, but we're setting down roots here. Our restaurant opens in 2 weeks here, Carriage House, and we're just trying to grow. So, like I said, we get confused sometimes with, some of the things we hear, but all we can do is focus on ourselves.
Definitely. Austin, where do you and Olivia stand after the reunion? And do you still want to give that relationship a chance?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that the reunion kind of took us like a little bit of shock. I didn't really know how to handle it. I don't know if I handled it in the best way. Like I was so concerned going into reunion. The only thing that I wanted to come out on the other side with is, her and I being in a great place. And I think she was kind of taken aback at like how, Madison and I were kind of bantering, and she was like, what is happening? And so we like took kind of like a little bit of time, but then we talked, and I mean, I would never say never with her. She's such an important person in my life, and like she was huge for me, this year to kind of like get back to who I think that I am. So I would never say never with that one.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been reading, but a lot of people have been shipping you and Taylor really hard. I mean, would that ever happen, or does that kind of go against all bro code?
Yeah, I mean,
bro code.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, that really does cross a lot of lines. I mean, I love Taylor to pieces, and I cherish her friendship, and we've gotten very close. And like our favorite topics to talk about with each other, especially as of recent, is both of like our paramours, right? So like she'll kind of talk to me about Shep, and I'll talk to her about Olivia. But I just think that would be crossing a whole bunch of lines, and it better be like like no, I'm just gonna keep it there. Yeah, that would be crossing a whole lot of lines, and a bunch of friendships would really be affected by that. So
no, totally. Does Shep care that you guys are such good friends?
That would be like first season Vanderpump stuff.
Yes. I mean, oh yeah, it would.
Like,
if you want to blow up Southern Charm, like
yeah, I'm telling you that would be a freaking a bomb to drop. That is for sure.
But does Shep care that you guys are such good friends?
Yeah. I think Shep really appreciates it. He definitely knows that we became close, because of him, and he sees how we act with each other. He's never gotten jealous about it. Olivia as well. She's always been like, I love that, you two are close, and yeah, so she's an important person in my life, and I want to keep it that way.
No, definitely. And I know, Austin, you got, during the reunion, you said that maybe Madison should have given you a heads up with the engagement. Craig, would you ever give Naomi a heads up if you were engaged or proposing?
No. Naomi and I are on very different. We live very separate lives.
And let me say that was like a couple years. Like
yeah, it's been 4 or 5 years.
Now it'd be strange, but like this is the next guy that she dated, and like for me to see it on the internet first, and especially to just know that she tries to get a rise out of me with everything, right? So it's like I just know that she wanted to show up to like a party being like, and look at this, right? And it's like, oh, well, I thought that we were cool, and if we were cool, then it could have been just like a quick little, she didn't have to call me and be like, hey, I have some crazy big news for you. I don't know. I just thought that, especially it was the next person that, she dated. It wasn't like 3 years, moved. And we'd been through a hell of a lot of craziness together. So I just thought that like a courtesy heads up.
Right, definitely. And one more question about the reunion. Craig, are you and Leva on better terms now? Because when I spoke to her, she said that your relationship drastically changed after everything that went down on the finale.
I mean, I think I'm still unaware and confused at what the issue is. I don't think
I think that I am too.
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are still very confused with whatever issues she has with us, and like you can't live life well if you're worried about other people. So I'm not sure what the issue is, but we have stores right across from each other, and I don't have it like, I'm ready to hug her whenever she is. So I hope it works out,
Mm-hmm. And then going into next season of Southern Charm, do you feel more comfortable now filming with Naomi than you did last season? Because, obviously it's uncomfortable filming with your ex, as Austin knows. I mean, but do you feel more comfortable going into next season?
I mean, if you ever saw us film again, it just wouldn't be accurate. We're not in each other's lives. She's been dating someone for 6 months. She has her own life and I have mine. There's a way to coexist in Charleston, but yeah, I this year just got a little out of hand. So
do you regret anything?
Like I said, I'm working on my delivery. Most of the time my message isn't that far off. I think Austin can agree with that. It's just I get frustrated sometimes filming when I think things are happening that shouldn't be, and I gotta figure out how to deal with that, and that's on me.
I mean, it's very tough to film with your ex, right? It's like you normally just aren't gonna go away on like a vacation in the same house with your.
I mean, how would anyone feel if your ex continued to show up at your office and it's not even like they're gonna work on the other side of the office? They're just gonna chirp at you. I mean that's like
literally what happened at the reunion. It's like my ex was there like at my job just to chirp at me, and it's just like, are we done here?
Right. I don't even think I could breathe the same air as my ex, so I give you credit.
And like that's the thing, it's not that anything's unresolved. It's just it wasn't as smooth as it could have been. But no, we live very separate lives now, and we can cordially coexist, but no, you won't see us hanging out anytime.
Yeah. Of reality show Ghosts of the Past, is there anybody that you would like to see join next season of Winter House?
I mean, I'd love if like Stassi and Beau came. I think we could I think if Shep and Taylor were still together, that would have been great for them to pop in.
I think adding another person from our show next year would be a lot of fun. It's just a question of, who.
And the Toms could have been there the whole time.
Pretty good candidates.
And then, I think that's a good answer.
I mean, the Toms have to come back.
Yeah.
And I mean, adding someone from our show would be a blast.
Well, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time. For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.